Hello class, this is Dr. Geraldine Agee. I am your professor for our African American Studies class on Black Psychology, Africam 12, at Peralta and specifically at Merritt College. I actually love teaching this class. I've taught this class for the past 6 years at Berkeley and at Peralta and at Fresno State. What's the most important thing to know about this class in terms of an orientation is several things. It is most important that you have your email address registered correctly in two systems. The first system is the Peralta system. If your email is not correct in the Peralta system, then I have no way of contacting you about official information that's related to your registration or enrollment in the class. The second system that you must have your email enrolled in is through our ePeralta system. You can find our class. You might have heard our class online system called Moodle. It's also ePeralta. You can find our class at https://eperalta.org/spring 2012 / If you are in my class and you're enrolled, you should have gotten an email from me that had that link. If you are also in my class and you're enrolled in the Peralta system and you're also in the Moodle system, you should have gotten 2 emails from me that lets you know how to get into the class. If you are enrolled in the class and not on the wait list and you've never received an email from me, then that means I have no email address for you on record and I have no way to get in touch with you for class. And we have no way of corresponding in order for you to proceed with being in class. The class is fully enrolled with a full wait list. It's very important for you to log on this week. Today is Friday, January the 27th, and enroll into the class. And once you get enroll into the class through Moodle, and once you've done that, then I'll know it's almost like you showed up for class. For those students that have never clicked into our ePeralta system, which is called Moodle too, then on February the 2nd, I will release those seats to students who are on the wait list. So it's very important that you at least log in. I can see if you've logged in. And then also do the introduction, which is the first assignment under the discussion forum. Now, how is our class set up? I actually love teaching this class. I love the setup of the class. It sometimes seems like if you do an online class, it's going to be easier than in person. But there's a lot of work that's required for meeting that 3-credit unit requirement, which means that for 3 hours a week, we are doing work that's related to African American psychology. The first thing that you're going to be doing each week is a discussion forum. The discussion forum typically is a question that asks you about the most relevant thing you read this week or that you learned this week that's related to our course materials. It's only graded by 1 point, so it's almost like attendance for if you're in my class. If we meet in the class, it's like attendance. So you get 1 point for that for a total of 10% of your grade. Now 20% of your grade is summary and response. And a summary and response is where I give you a video, a set of readings, or additional information that's additional to our course materials in our books. And you have to respond to that. Summary and responses will be 250 words at least. You're graded on the number of words. You're graded on the grammar. You're graded on content. What I'm looking for is for you to relate your theory or idea to materials that you've read either in the book, online, or in other literature or materials. Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, why not?
Okay. So it's important for you to do the summary and responses each week. Also, the other things that you'll be graded on is their quiz. There are a certain number of quizzes, and the quizzes typically are chapters 1 through 3, 4 through 6. I'm not looking at the syllabus now, but before the midterm, it covers up to chapter 8. And after the midterm and before the final, it covers 8 through the rest of the book, which is about chapter 15. The quizzes are fairly straightforward. The material comes directly from the book or from the PowerPoints that I put up. The quizzes typically open on Monday and close on Friday. But if there's any glitches in any way with any of these assignments, I will always extend the due date for the assignment such that you don't have to worry about being penalized for something if there's a system error. The way that I would like for you to contact me by email if there's a system error or if there's any glitches that you have, very simply send me an email at jag@peralta.edu, and in the message of the email put Africam 12, your last name, and a student question. And then all you have to do is send the question. Dr. Ag, the link is broken for the YouTube video on Steve Harvey. Dr. Ag, I logged into the quiz and now it's gone. If you tell me specifically what the question is, then I can try to resolve it quickly. It's also very important for you to do this. Always leave me 2 things: your real name and your phone number. Because typically I can call you right back or email you right away. But if your nickname or your email address is Beautiful Chocolate 456, but your name is Tiffany, if you send me an email and it doesn't have your name, I have no way of knowing which class you're in for me, no way to know how to get in touch with you, and so that can cause a problem. That also brings me to the other issue of your email address and your name. Your name and your email address in Peralta needs to be the same as what you have on the eperalta.org, and here's why. In the past, I've noticed that students' names, they might have a nickname or a common name that they use when they're in online environments. Always use your legal name. Always use your registered name, because then that makes sure that I can give you the grade for the work that you've done. In addition to the midterm and final, we have 2 projects. They're 4 to 7 pages. And the first project is that you can interview a black family or someone that has interview a black family and talk to them about some of the things you're learning in the book and see if they share that same perspective. And then you can use some of the literature that you'll have from class to write that. And it can be your family if you're African American, or it can be another family. Or if you have any trouble finding a family, then you can email me and I can see how I can help. The second assignment is to visit a black church, either in person or online. When you look at your syllabus, you'll have different assignments, different suggestions for what the topic can be. But it doesn't have to be one of those topics, but it gives you a broad idea. One of the topics for the black church is black church. Look at a traditional versus a non-traditional church. You can look at Crenshaw Christian Center online. You can follow T.D. Jakes on Twitter and look at his online gospel or ministry. And so all of those things can come into play with this assignment. I'm very flexible as a professor. If you want to ask me clarifying questions, email is the best way to send me information. But I'm also open to you texting me. My number is 205-516-5255. It's on your syllabus. And so if you want to text me to get a quick answer, then that's fine. But also always include your name and your phone number. If you're on text, I can see it. But it's always good to just go ahead and put it down and what class you're in. And finally, the class moves fairly straightforward. A discussion forum or summary response every week. Quiz every 3 to 4 weeks. A midterm in the middle of the semester right before spring break. A final at the end right before the end of semester. And 2 assignments, one before the midterm and one after the final. And that's the class. But what happens is sometimes people get behind. I've noticed that people have 3 grades in my classes: an A, a C, or an F. The A are for students who have stayed on top of things and completed all of their work, and they've had a really high level of work that warranted an A. The F's are people typically who just forgot to drop the class. The C are people who knew they were enrolled in the class, got behind, and started to try to play catch up and try to do the assignments that they could get credit for. What I would like to see is every student to do their best. I'm going to grade you on what you turn in. But if there comes a time where summary and responses are due, if a week passes, then they will be closed and I won't open them again. Unless there's some kind of technical error, which typically I would have resolved within that same week. So I'm looking forward to seeing you online. I will try to post these videos periodically. But for this next week, you have a lot of reading to do. Go ahead and get Belgrave's book, second edition. It's in the Merritt